We're catching up with Stunlock Studios here at GDC, finding out about a game that was just announced a week ago, but it really feels like a game that's sort of been, it's a game that's sort of been many years in the making, if you will. It's sort of the conclusion of all the things that you've been working on so far. What is Battlerite?
It's the next generation of esports mobile arena experience. I say we don't want to call it a mobile. We're going to call it a team arena brawler. But the mobile top-down view, but with a shooter kind of style with the controls.
How do you see this sort of positioning itself in the landscape? This feels like a spiritual successor to your game Bloodline Champion.
Yeah, it is. It is the spiritual successor of Bloodline Champions, and we see it like a game that everybody who are into competitive gaming would like. So I think both the Bloodline Champions fans and the people who liked our games in the past will love this game, but also a lot of new players. So we created a game that are very easy to get into and learn, but the skill ceiling is still high.
Yeah, that is an interesting point, because you may say that you've scaled off some of the depth of what you would say a MOBA is, but the depth is there in the sort of the actual action, in the gameplay, in the mechanics instead.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want any random elements, and we want it very quick pace, so you have a lot of dodging. Everything is skill based. You have to aim your heals, aim your melee attacks, so everything can be dodged. There's no offensive abilities can't be avoided, so that's where the real dip. More like a shooter game or like a fighting game in that sense.
What's the setup? What sort of it's 4-on-4, or what's the?
It's 2 versus 2. That's where the game plays best right now. But we're not closing any doors for other options, but right now it's 2 versus 2.
What is it about that number that sort of made sense when you developed the game? Because some games have 2-on-2, 4-on-4, 5-on-5, 6-on-6. Why is it the sweet spot for Battlerite?
Yeah, there's many reasons behind it. We both have the other, we want to make it to the esports scene as well, and we have Counter-Strike, League of Legends, those 5 versus 5. We have Hearthstone, very popular right now, 1 versus 1. So 2 versus 2 is really a sweet spot for that esport market as well, and it's really the good spot for getting into the game, as Johan said before. You don't want to have too much going on the screen, so we really want it to be both spectator friendly and really nice for new players and get into it. So.
One thing that I think of with that is that you don't have enough roles on the team to sort of fill every typical role there is. So you have to make that choice. What roles do you bring into your team? And that can be sort of interesting to see different matchups going against each other.
Yeah, we don't want to have really super specific roles. We think everyone is fighter in arena, so everyone can deal damage. We have those characters with more support roles, they have heals, but everyone can kill each other. So we really want so to say double support if that's a viable option. So any combination should be viable. So that's really what we're focusing on.
What's the roadmap? What are you wanting to do right now with the game? You've just announced it. What's coming up?
We're into the sign-up phase, so you can sign up for the beta now. So the beta will be soon. We don't have any date set, and the game will be out this year.
We've talked a little bit about it, but the characters, the world, the setting, what can you say of that?
Our first game, Bloodline Champions, were also a tribal, so we still want to keep a bit of the tribal, the raw feeling of it, and more focus on the gladiator experience. So we want to keep the audience should be there. You want to cheer for them, and make the players feel like superstars in these more gladiatorial settings.
Is there sort of a crowd mechanic as well somewhere in there? I heard something about that.
Exactly. Yeah, we've been teasing a little bit our fan system. So what we want to feel like, since it's like an esport competitive scene, we think the crowd is a really important factor. So we're working on a system where you're gonna work a lot with creating or gathering fans across the world, have them cheer, and also you as a player can observe your friends and cheer for them in a system where everyone gets rewarded, basically. So.
Obviously, building a game that is sort of wants to be esport is kind of one of those things that you're not really allowed to say because it's got to happen organically. How do you work sort of to build the community that's needed for this sort of game?
We are doing our best to just create the best possible battle arena, and we want everybody to have fun with this game, but in the same time you can go very deep with it, and so we believe it could work very well for the esports scene. But our goal has only been to create the best possible battle arena and have fun gameplay, very pure. It's a little bit arcadish, you know. We picked some stuff up from old console arcade games to get this like pure gameplay.
Yeah, speaking of old consoles and things like that, what kind of platforms are you targeting? Obviously, it's going to be PC. Are you thinking of other platforms as well?
Of course, we want to reach as many as possible. We're focusing on PC right now, and if the game goes good, we see potential on console like PlayStation 4, Xbox One. Of course, it's going to be tricky to map to a gamepad instead of a mouse and keyboard right now, but we had some thoughts about it, and we'll see in the future. So hopefully we can get there as well.
And in terms of the business model, is this going to be free to play, or do you imagine people will pay once and that's it, or what do you see?
I think how the game is designed, it will work very well as free to play, but we haven't decided yet.
Remains to be seen. All right. Thank you so much for your time. It was nice playing it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.